it's the Munster Cast. Welcome to the show, we got a blast from the past. Yeah, it's the Munster Cast. You know what it is. Hit like, hit follow, subscribe to the biz. Leave a comment, share, let your thoughts fly.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the monsters and monsters adjacent. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, and I'm here with my co-host and friend, Tivis. So, Tivis, please tell everybody out in the Munsterverse how you doing today.
I'm doing better. Whatever poison thing I got on my arm is going away finally after 2 weeks, so that's good.
Nice. Tivis had a grass STD.
I mean, it's not a wrong description, I guess. Poison oak, poison sumac, one of the two. Weirdly, I'm immune to poison ivy.
Really?
Yeah, it just doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I think I am too. It's other things that get me. It's weird.
I think this has to be sumac, though. I've never had sumac. Oak is bad. I'm like allergic to oak. When I forget that, it goes real bad real quick.
Interesting. All right. Well, anyways, anything else going on right now in the world?
No interesting. And well, you guys
in your
listening,
world.
No, in my world, no, and nothing in the Munsters either. Which I want to people listening. If any kind of breaking news happens about the upcoming project, you're on a delay, but we will get the info to you. You know,
potential update or potential
I did say
show.
If there was an update, I didn't say there would be.
Yeah. Okay.
If it turns out that it's just canned, you'll just hear about it in a regular one. We're not going to do a special bolt.
Right.
That's not exciting. That sucks.
All right, guys. Let's dive into the dirty business then real quick. You can find us on social media. We're mostly on Facebook and Instagram via the MunsterCast, but you can also just type in the MunsterCast on any other social media platform to find us, guys. You can also catch our pretty ugly faces every Munster Monday at TheMunsterCast or at youtube.com/@TheMunsterCast. You can catch all of our content in one place, though, guys. If you really want to just check out everything, it's all at TheMunsterCast.com. That is TheMunsterCast.com. You can also click on the little microphone icon on the right hand side of the screen there, guys, and leave us a voice message, which we can potentially play on air if you would like. And then you can also do that through social media as well. I think Instagram allows messages. I'm not sure if Facebook does. I haven't tried that one yet, but I know we've gotten voice messages on Instagram before.
Yeah. You can send voice messages on Facebook, I think.
Okay.
Never mind. I don't know why I spoke up.
All right. You can also click on the store tab or just go to TheMunsterCast.com/merch. This is the link that will take you directly to our store, no matter who we change vendors to, guys, ever. So always go to TheMunsterCast.com/merch. If other people are sharing links out there, just type in TheMunsterCast.com/merch, and that will take you directly to our store for sure. You can
trust only us.
You can also email us at themunstercast@outlook.com. All your Munster questions, concerns, stories, whatever you have, Munster related, guys. But you can also do that again through social media means as well. All right, Tivis, what else we got?
We have a Patreon, which through your support, you help us keep the lights on. This video recording thing we use, I don't know the technical name for those. The RSS feeds flowing, the website running, all of that stuff is thanks to the people that support us. So anyone who can, please go and do so. It's greatly appreciated. None of it gets pocketed, so it all goes right back into the show.
Yeah.
And you also get access to our Discord, which, we're trying to grow our own community. We might open it up, just get more voices in there eventually. The show, we don't know how much longer we got of this show, so
Right.
We're near the end of Munsters Today, and then we got comics, and then we're gonna be in a dry
Spell.
spell. Thank you, of Munster content for a while, which stinks, but whatever. And don't forget, when you email us, we are still looking for submissions of episodes you would like us to go back and look at with new, fresh eyes after watching everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but times are tough. We get it. Don't worry about it. You want to help us out without, spending money? We get it. Totally get it. I do it with a lot of shows. You can leave us a review on your podcatcher if they allow you to do that. Comment on Spotify. iTunes does it. You're watching on YouTube, comment below. Also, leave a star rating. 5, awesome. We love it, but we want you to be honest with your stuff. If you're gonna give us some critiques, do so. Don't be an a-hole. YouTube, like it. Subscribe. That helps us. Hit the bell. Honestly, it seems like the bell is fixed for the most part for everything but shorts. If you follow too many pages that upload shorts, you will not get notified of shorts for some reason. So make sure to go check out I don't know. Do you put synopsis time up on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Check out for the early synopsis time videos that Myke puts up. You could also see those on Instagram. Are you still using TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are on TikTok too. All this stuff. Follow us, stuff like that. Gets more views on us, more interest. Not just on us, but we hope for Munsters in general, because we would like to talk about more.
Mhm.
So, all this stuff. I'm long-winded, adding stuff to this, making this longer than it needs to be because I have a brisk.
And he's not talking about like the Jewish brisk, guys.
No, I'm talking about the liquid in a can lemon flavored tea. I know some people don't call it tea. This is the only tea I like. This and green tea, Lipton green tea.
And actually, it's not even brisk, is it, for Jews? It's just brisk. There's no. It's
Oh,
BRI.
I thought you were talking about like a brisket.
No.
No. I don't know. I can ask Ian. He's probably sleeping though.
All right, guys. So then, Tivis, what are we talking about today, dude?
Parenthood versus childhood. And for the life of me, I don't think we came close to this.
I don't recall.
I know I thought we were going to see de-aged
Mm-hmm.
Herman, but I don't think we thought just plain swapping roles, because that usually this show isn't that straightforward. But this is season 3, episode 18, or 136th overall, aired March 9th, 1991, almost a year until my wife is born. Written by Neil Rosen and George Tricker, directed by Marlene Laird. Now, absolutely no guests, so we're going to focus on the writers right now. Neil and George. Neil got his start as executive producer for Pat Paul's Half a Comedy Hour. He executive produced 15 things over his span. The Dick Van Dyke Show, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off,
Mm-hmm.
pretty well-known comedies. Yeah. But he met George with George's began working as a producer as well on or no, I'm sorry, as executive story editor on Welcome Back, Kotter in 1976. And he did 2 episodes of that with Neil. And then they did a story editor for quite a few shows. Let's see. Neil only did 6, George did 7, but together they did The Ropers, Spencer, Too Close for Comfort, Silver Spoons, check it out, and then George went on to do Tall Hopes in 1993. Now, writing credits,
Mm-hmm.
Neil got his start in 74 on Tony, Orlando, and Dawn for an episode. George didn't get started until 70. I'm sorry. I am looking at his. Okay. So George actually got started before Neil in 68 with the Joan Rivers show.
Mhm.
So, again, comedy. These two were steeped in the comedy, and it's great to see. Uh, let's see, I'm trying to see when they started overlapping. Looks like they started writing together in 76 at the Mark Davis show.
Mac Davis.
Mac Davis. Did I say Mark?
Yeah.
Oops. Let's see, they both did The Love Boat. Welcome Back, Cotter, of course. They did 6 episodes of that show. Me and Max, 4 episodes, 3 episodes of The Ropers. Yeah.
Okay.
21 episodes of Too Close for Comfort from 84 to 87. Ooh, they did an episode of The Facts of Life. So these two were a very big duo for a long time. Let's see, they both did this episode in 91.
Mhm.
Neil only did one more episode for Full Fries in 99, while George kept going. He did an episode of Perfect Strangers, Married with Children, The Fresh Prince. It looks like they both ended their writing careers on the same episode of Full Fries. So, and sadly, the reason for that is not too great. Full Fries came out in 1999. Neil actually passed away in September of 98 at 61. So it wasn't because
Mm.
they were done writing. They just, they
Yeah.
couldn't anymore, sadly. But George kept going until uh, June 2014 at the age of 78. And George was a year younger than Neil, by the way. So,
That's a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, these two, they have a long storied career in comedy, and kind of getting a little peek into my thoughts. I think it showed. I'll be honest. As for the director, Marlene Laird, you've heard that name once before.
Mhm.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Yes. So we've talked about them, so we don't need to go back into their stuff. But I enjoyed going over the career of the writers in this one, and I got to go do a deep dive into those for. I don't usually go too deep into what they do because I have like umpteen different guests to get through.
Mm.
But no guests this episode.
Yeah, and I thought I was gonna like. I thought I was getting used to having guests and that it wasn't a nice addition, which it is. It is, but it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of nice to just be with
The
the
family.
family again.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
So
Is that it for that?
that's all I got. I think it's time.
Is it time?
It's time.
Synopsis time. Okay, guys. Today we are talking about Parenthood versus Childhood, which aired March 9th, 1991, as Tivis previously stated. Oh, all right, here we go. On this episode of The Munsters Today, Herman and Lily swap places with the kids as king and queen trade crowns for commoner capes. Will the young peasants breathe new life into the kingdom or send it spiraling into financial ruin? Will the family remember their real reasons for their roles, or will Grandpa be left out in the cold with no suit to wear? Will Leonard floss his teeth, or will Grandpa find food from a century ago? Will Herman and Lily finally get their parking on, or will they learn the harsh truths of 90s high school? Will Marilyn and Eddie gain a newfound respect for the parental perspective, or will they spend all the money on ding dongs and chips? Will Eddie seize power once again, or will Herman find himself facing school suspension? And as Lily fights to protect her hard earned reputation, will Grandpa do what's right and worry about numero uno? And will chaos ensue? Find out this week on The Munsters Today.
I want the listeners to know he did that with zero sleep. That was very good. That was a good one.
I'm tired.
Still, your synopsis time never disappoints. You pick up on the tiniest, weirdest details and just throw them in there.
Awesome. All right, let's dive on into this episode, shall we, guys?
All right. Well, we got Herman and Lily going over the bills once again. I feel like this is the third episode this season. They're doing that.
To be fair, that's what a lot of adults just do.
Yeah, it kind of it's very in theme with this whole episode. They're barely scraping by, and I've never felt more relatable to him, to be honest. Grandpa is reading the newspaper on the couch. He apparently spent $117 for premium blood, which is roughly $275 today.
Yeah, from the Eureka Blood Bank. I like that Herman though. He was like, "Are you sure these are just our bills or not the whole neighborhood's?"
Lily's calculator dies, so Herman charges it from his bolt, and it really drains him. Like I love the visual gag here of John. Like he looks like he's tired after doing that.
Herman can now charge things. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Well, with all the other jokes that they do in this episode, I'm surprised they didn't get a recharge joke out of this with Herman and Lily going upstairs. Anyways.
No, instead we get Grandpa commenting that spelling cat drains him. So Herman's worried he might have to get a second job, and Lily says he can't help if the mortuary business is dead right now. And Grandpa cracks another joke, saying it's not dead enough.
Yeah, the
And
problem is it ain't dead enough.
he gets kind of annoyed that no one's laughing with. They kind of ignore him this whole episode, and it's great.
Yeah.
Eddie comes in with a basketball. He's apparently joined the team now, and sports teams are expensive. I was on like a baseball team when I was real young, and I know my mom was pretty happy when I quit because she was a single mom.
Yeah.
Eddie needs new shoes.
Not just normal shoes. He needs Air Jordans. They're only $100, Pop.
Which is roughly $235 today.
Grandpa's like, for $100, Michael Jordan better come in them.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I won't even pay $100 for shoes now. Dude, I just wore my shoes for like 2 years. They were splitting on the sides and everything else. They just can't afford them. Eddie is annoyed because all the other kids have them, and Herman's like, "Well, if they had chicken pox, would you want that?" Like, if it got me out of math, maybe.
I mean, this is back in the 90s when they still had chicken pox parties.
Yeah, we were stupid. And then we learned that it led to shingles, and we're like, oh God, we just permanently doomed children to suffer well into their adulthood. Anyway, when he says that, though, I like Herman's little laugh and Lily's like smirk. Like, yeah, all right, that's funny. So Marilyn now comes in. She's going on vacation, but using her own money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like, well, Eddie's like, well, how come she could go on the vacation? And it's like, well, and I can't get a pair of Jordans. Well, it's because she's using her own money, dude. We end up saying this a lot at home, by the way.
Oh, I bet.
Because like certain kids have more money, and they get to do more things because it's their money, and I'm not having to buy the crap.
I love the little stammer though. Like I kind of wonder if they left this in and James actually forgot, or Jason. Why do I keep doing that?
Because you're thinking it's
nearly done with season 3, and I still screw up his name.
Yeah.
Anyway, Marsden. I love that. I don't know if this was intentional or if he had flubbed his line a little bit, where he's just stuttering like. But I'm glad it stayed in, whatever decision it was.
Yeah.
Where's she going?
She's going to Fort Lauderdale.
You ever been?
Yes. Yeah. I had to think about it for a second.
I don't know where that is in relation to Florida, so.
Yeah, it's
Is it on like the
I
west
think
side of
it's
Florida?
Fort Lauderdale's near Tampa, I believe.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it sounds like this is a spring break vacation that they're going.
Or no, wait, it's on the other side, isn't it? Is it the?
I don't
It's
know.
by
You're the
Miami,
Florida man.
by between Miami and Palm Beach.
Okay. Aren't those the
I think
people that said they're going to roll out the guards during spring break this year?
I don't know. Oh, it's St. Petersburg is what I was thinking of. That has nothing to do with the fort. Okay.
All right. Anyway, spring breaks here can be crazy, and some cities are banning them now for international listeners. Let's
They
see
need
where was
to.
it. Grandpa remembers that. Well, MTV's not didn't help with that. They kind of exacerbated the situation for years.
And then
Grandpa,
Girls Gone Wild showed up.
yeah, and then they got sued and lost their. Grandpa
Weren't they
remembers the
giving
time.
drugs out? I swore they were
Remembers the
giving
time
drugs
he
out.
was at Fort Lauderdale
Sorry.
centuries ago. But no one cares. Herman's
Yeah.
worried about the boys in Fort Lauderdale, and she's
Yeah,
like,
he's like, isn't that where like all the boys are? He's like, yeah. What's the point?
"Why else do you think we're going?"
And Herman's like, yeah, no, nope.
That's why we're saying no.
And he's like, you don't trust me? No, we trust you. It's the boys we don't trust at all.
Marilyn, she's like, all you ever do is say no. And he's like, I hope you do the same. And I have to say, this goes under the radar a little bit, but it is
Yeah.
a great little anti-drugs joke snuck in there. Because I didn't catch it the first time I was watching.
I thought it was more so of like, yeah, say no if the boy's trying to do the dirty.
Oh, see, I took it as like early dare type stuff, like just say no.
Nah. Well, he was talking about the boys at this point, so I just assumed it was a sex thing.
Dare. When was Dare established?
In the 90s?
Ooh, 83. So yeah, it was
83,
definitely a
okay.
thing. Yeah, founded in Los Angeles of all places. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess they needed it real bad. They need it now.
Okay. Oh,
What,
not even
you
gonna-
saying
I'm-
that drugs
not even
aren't
gonna go
rampant in
there.
Hollywood?
I'm just not even gonna touch it.
Well, hey, this comes out like a month. They might have calmed down there, hopefully. Yeah, things are not great there. Marilyn complains. Oh no, wait, I
yeah.
already read that one. Lily like sides with Herman,
Yep.
and Marilyn's like, "You always stick together." And Grandpa's, yeah, like two wool socks and a dryer, and everyone still ignores.
Yeah. It's like Grandpa's not there. We're gonna find
Yeah.
out in the next episode that like Grandpa's just like a ghost in the house now. No one sees him.
I'd watch it, like another
Um,
Wonderful Life episode.
Marilyn, though, Chica, like that's what parents do. They're supposed to stick together. A marriage is between husband and a spouse, the spouses. Marriage
See,
is that. Like the kids come after the husband and wife.
you stick together in front of them, and then you discuss behind closed doors. If you disagree.
Yeah. But still, your children come after your marriage. That a lot of people don't agree with that. You know, a lot of people, oh, my kids come first. No, they don't. You picked your spouse. You didn't pick your kids.
You pick to have them. I don't.
Yeah, your spouse comes first.
I guess I don't really have any kind of comment on any of it. I got zero experience myself, but I just agree that you whether you agree or not, you have to do a united front in front of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're gonna pick you off one by one.
Oh yeah. They'll see the weak one.
Oh, sorry about that. I sneezed. People couldn't
Yeah.
tell what that noise was.
And this is where Marilyn's like, oh, I wish you could see it from our point of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we go into a doo scene
Yeah,
where
it's like
Herman,
Scrubs.
yeah, where Herman and Lily come down the stairs and dressed in king and
Royalty.
queen garb, and they are walking into the living room as Lily and Eddie walk in there with a
Marilyn.
basket, or Marilyn, yeah, and Eddie. I said Lily.
They're
Marilyn
in
and
like
Eddie.
peasant outfits.
Yeah.
The entire flashback is them doing chores and asking for stuff and being told no. And
Yeah.
then Herman and Lily bragging about how nice it is to have free labor for nothing in return.
Yeah. Isn't it wonderful having children? Yes. They do everything we want, and we say no to everything they want. Let's have a few more and start our own domesticated agency. Oh boy. And then the kids come back in with, all right, we done with our chores. We cleaned our rooms and waxed the floors, I'm assuming, because I stopped writing apparently right there.
I think they waxed the coffin.
Yeah. They're like, can we watch TV now? No. Can we get our allowance? No.
What
Can
did you
we
do with that nickel we gave you at Christmas?
uh you're like, can we have food money? We fed you last week. What do you need food for?
What is with you children and food?
They're like, we're spoiling them. Next thing they'll be asking for winter coats and childhood vaccinations.
Which winter coats I remember as a kid being like a luxury thing. It's like you will get a
Yeah.
rain jacket and you will stuff it with something to keep you warm.
Yeah, I had the same winter coat from when I was a kid, like a little kid, all the way through. Shoot, I think I was still wearing that thing when I got married. Like the same one.
I
Just
outgrew
because I
mine.
was luckily, like, yeah, I wore like a lot of big stuff, so I was still able to wear my clothes when I got older.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a trick my mom did. She got sizes too big so I would grow into it and it'd last longer.
Yeah. That's why I tell people, if you have babies, don't buy them shoes.
No.
Not until they start walking, at least. Your little tiny baby does not need shoes that cost like $40
That they're just gonna outgrow
in like a week.
immediately, yeah.
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 Yeah. I see
So
that people buy their like little babies Jordans. And I'm like, you crazy.
I love in this scene though, after they ask to watch TV, Marilyn's
Yeah.
like, we will go read books and enrich our mind then. We and they both say it in unison every single time they leave the room. We love you.
Yeah. We love you. And they bow. They give
Yeah.
a little bow. Yep.
Yeah. But so we cut back to reality. Herman and Lily can't believe they think that way. They give
Yeah.
them everything they could want. And Eddie's like, how about my shoes? No, I
Well,
rest my case.
I do like the cut because in the vision or whatever, they were saying no, no, no to the kids, and then they come back and Herman's like, no, 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 I can't believe you look at us like that.
The only complaint I have is that in the dream sequence or the, I guess, story sequence in reality, Herman and Lily are switched sides. So, like,
Yeah.
if you had just swapped them, it would have been a perfect transition.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie's like, I rest my case. And Marilyn's like, we're old enough to be treated like adults. Maybe you, not Eddie. Grandpa
Yeah.
says they're barely infants in vampire years, and everyone still ignores him.
Yep.
Marilyn continues, didn't it occur to you that I might be mature for my age? And Herman's like, no.
No.
But just in case, Lily put a lock on her drawer. Which I'm like, is that to make sure that people don't sneak into her room or you don't accidentally walk in on something else?
Both.
Yeah. Herman tells them to see it through their point of view. And this
Yeah,
time,
they're like, I think we're wonderful parents. Why not try to see it from our point of view?
yeah, this time we got Lily scrubbing away at the house as Herman comes in rag. His suit is in rags.
Yeah.
And he hands her the money so that she can start divvying it out to the children who are dressed in royal outfits this time. And I bet they had a lot of fun doing this episode with these sequences.
Yeah.
Like just looking at them and acting so differently.
Yeah.
So here we go.
It gives them a nice opportunity to do something different with their character.
Mm-hmm. Eddie wants $30 for Paula Abdul ticket, and they're like, "Oh, just one? Oh, fantastic, sir."
Yeah.
And Herman's like, or he goes, "How about $60 for a limo to get there?" And Herman's like, "Here's 100, get a stretch." So Lily's like, "Marilyn, what do you? I'm not done yet."
Yeah.
Edward,
yeah.
Edward asked for $500 for a bike, which that's like $630 a day, and altogether he just got over $1,400 in modern cash total. Yeah. Marilyn just takes a handful for European trip, so we don't even know how much she got. But she also needs a camera, and Lily's like, "How about 200?" No zoom lens. 250 then. Here you go.
Oh, she gives an attitude over the zoom lens too.
Oh,
no
yeah.
zoom lens. Ah.
So, as we don't know how much she got for the European trip, but in total, for what we do know, they both just got $880 from Herman's check, which is over $2,000. So that leaves them with $13, or roughly $30 for bills, medical payments, and food. But Marilyn's not done. She needs money for her trip. So they hand over the rest of it. Herman's like, "I worked 60 hours overtime. I didn't get to enjoy anything for myself." And Eddie calls him selfish. But Herman's like, "I need new tires for the car."
So you're looking at Herman was basically then getting paid $33 an hour.
Which is insane back then. That's insane now.
Yeah. Especially for just a digger.
The most I ever got paid was 28 when that company shut down.
Or are we assuming this is a bi-weekly thing? So he worked 2 60-hour weeks.
Could be. Those suck, by the way. Now that I have one of those.
Even then in the 90s, that'd still be $16 an hour. That's still a lot of money.
It is.
That's not even what minimum wage is yet.
We got to remember he's the union steward, which means he gets a little bump in pay. And he's also kind of blackmailed all three of his bosses over the course of these 3 seasons, so they might be giving him a little hush money on the side.
It's still a lot. It seems like a lot of money.
Especially
even if it's a bi-weekly paycheck.
Honestly, it would make sense why the one boss really wants him to quit then.
Maybe.
He's like, "No, we're overpaying you. Leave."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So we cut back once again with the kids saying no repeatedly and back into present.
Yep.
They are offended they would see it like that. Like,
good.
You have no idea what it's like to be a kid. And the kids have no idea what it's like to be a parent. Grandpa tells...
The thing is, kids forget that the parents used to be kids.
Mm-hmm.
When we do things, it's because we know already the stupid things that we did. We don't want you guys to do.
Yeah.
And
Grandpa tells them they have no idea what it's like to try and read during all this noise. And he is clearly getting very grumpy that they're ignoring him.
Mm-hmm.
Herman comes up with the idea to swap roles, but Grandpa jumps up. "No, this goes against human nature." But then a lot of what we do goes into that category. So who is he to argue? It appears to have some sort of crisis in his face. He's like, "What have we done? What are we doing?"
Everything.
Just the look on his face as we end this scene is great. So
yeah.
Eddie's
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, Eddie's like, "Yeah, fine, we'll start tomorrow." And Herman's like, "Why start tomorrow?" We'll start right now.
All right.
And
Go to
Eddie's
bed.
like, good idea. You two go to bed. They're like, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because they want a break or if they want to go fool around. And then Herman, as he's walking away, is like, all right, fine. Make the lunches, wash the laundry. Oh, and get a job.
Yeah. And Grandpa's like, I have a feeling it'd be a good way to go to Transylvania.
Which then I thought Grandpa was just gonna go off for the
Disappear.
rest of the I thought he was really gonna disappear for the
He
week.
kind of does for the most part.
Yeah.
So we get our commercial break here, and we come back. Herman and Lily are in Letterman jackets playing Nintendo. Lily worries if she needs to get acne, and Herman's like, well, we know the cure anyway. And I don't like how he says that line. Speaking of, they need to ask about going to the drive-in tonight. Herman's like, why? What's playing? Ooh, I don't know. You planning on watching it?
Yeah, Marilyn's like, what, you plan on actually
You
watching the
mean Lily?
movie? Or Lily.
What is
Yeah.
wrong?
Wow.
That's you've swapped them equally, so
Oh, it's because I read my notes. It says, speaking of which, I wonder if Eddie and Marilyn, and then I just read Marilyn and just kept going. What's
So.
playing? Why are you planning on watching the movie?
Yeah. Herman loves this argument, by the way. He's like, oh. Lily agrees that they got the best end of the deal, or Herman loves this arrangement, not argument. Lily's like, yeah, we got the best end of the deal. Although Herman does hate having a curfew on school nights. And Lily's like, yeah, they're really strict. And,
Yeah.
Thinking about it,
Yep.
I never really had a curfew growing.
I don't think like there was one initiated. It was just, you be in by dark, I guess. I don't even know. Be on the property. I don't know. Especially in high school age, there was no. Yeah.
There was just an understanding in my house that if you weren't back by dinner, you didn't get it. Also, don't be home so late that everyone's in bed for work, because if you wake any of them up, oh dear Lord.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wasn't. There was one rule: I wasn't allowed to leave the house till homework was done. So
Okay, that seems doable.
yeah, but Marilyn and Eddie come in with bags of groceries, annoyed that the adults aren't helping. Eddie snaps his finger, and a guy brings in a grocery cart. Eddie tips him. Herman wants to say something, but stops, and that was such a nice little touch. Like, no.
Yeah.
Remember the deal. Lily is shocked at the amount of food they got, and Marilyn's like, oh yeah, we even have some left over, and Lily's impressed. Normally, they can barely manage to get anything after paying the mortgage. And
mortgage? Mortgage?
What is this word? It's like, it's the money that we pay to keep food out of these carts.
Keep all of our belongings out of these carts. Yeah.
It was in those pile of bills over there we told you to look at.
Oh, Lily's like, we gave you guys, the money was for all the bills. You see that over there on the mantle? Yeah, that whole pile needs to be paid too with that money, not just the food.
It's like, did you pay them? And then he's like, no, but we saw them.
Yeah.
Marilyn,
kids are like, well, you go clean the kitchen. Like, we don't clean the kitchen. We're the kids. We don't clean it. Like, well, fine. Go put this freaking food away.
or no electricity, which the way Herman says I need that, it sounds like he might die or something.
Or he's addicted.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but I think earlier in the show we've proven that he does need the energy. So
yeah, but also if you are addicted to something and you stop cold turkey, it will kill you if it's hard enough. That's why they have that stuff to wean people off heroin.
it depends on what you're addicted to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's, hard enough, which electricity, it's probably some hard stuff, man.
Yeah.
Dare, just say no. So, yeah. And so they finally agree to go to the kitchen, but Lily's like, we're not doing the dishes, though. And I love, like, Lily totally gets into the teenage attitude in this episode, like way more than Herman, and it's so great. The sass coming out of her is wonderful to see.
Yeah. Well, I think it's showing that, how much this is an interesting way to put it. How women change so much more once the parental stuff is brought in versus the man, where Herman's kind of like a kid all the time still.
That's fair. Yeah. You take the stress off of her and she's able to relax more.
Yeah.
Whereas us guys, we're brains so dumb, we relax whenever we want.
You can relax like that, like chilled. Yeah. Yeah.
Victoria's always amazed whenever I'm like, I'll go on like a rant on something stupid I read in the paper, and then instantly I'm like, ooh, ice cream. And she's like, what? Do you have split personality or something? I'm like, what? No, I'm over it. I got ice cream. Like, I just don't let stuff affect me. It's like I get it out of my system and then I move on.
She would like have an aneurysm then if she read our texts, because we do the exact same shit. We'll go on like, oh hey, this thing just popped off. Look at this.
It just happened yesterday. We were talking about something and then it switched to movie announcement.
Yeah.
Guys are weird.
I think we're just simple creatures.
Oh, we totally are.
Like, people try and like break men down. It's just, we're just so simple.
It's too complex to put into a box, but very simple to keep happy.
I mean, eventually we all end up in a box, so
Yeah. The thing they put the casket in is square. It's a box.
and even if you get ashes, usually they give you a box before the urn.
Yeah.
There's a documentary on Netflix about mortuary stuff, about some dude. I just saw a clip. I didn't watch it. But like, he was like burning like 10 bodies at a time and just giving people random ashes back.
Oh, Thomas Clock the Third. Oh,
Is
no,
that who
wait.
it was?
No, Thomas Clock the Third is the guy who took his friends home with him.
No, this is like, this dude was still alive. Is that?
No, Thomas Clock the Third's alive. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a Michigan dude. He's famous. He had so many bodies that he hadn't taken care of. He was taking them home with him.
Gotcha.
And the joke is,
I remember
they were
that
his
one.
friends.
Let's hopefully embalmed them before he took him home. Anyways,
mortuaries can be weird, people. Yeah. So let's see. Kitchen.
They go out to the kitchen and Eddie rushes up. How much money do we have left? $32. Oh no. How much is the mortgage? Oh, go on.
Well, I was gonna translate, but go ahead. How much is the mortgage?
Oh, the mortgage is over $200 is what they say right here.
Yeah, so they have, in today's money, roughly $75, and they need to pay $472 for the mortgage.
I wish my mortgage was less than a little over $200.
Me too. That's like a fourth of what I pay.
I don't even think with inflation that even comes close. What's the inflation on that?
472
from 200.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even rent an apartment.
No, God, no. My sister's apartments cost nearly as much as my mortgage anymore. It's insane. It's like, why rent? You just buy. You pay less.
Yeah. So once they realize that, even houses too, because what the shtick is with that is people are ch- renting their houses out to pay the mortgage, plus they want a profit. So you're actually paying a lot more. Just buy a house. I mean, but not unfortunately, not everyone can get a loan. That's the thing, and that's where they get you, and that's where they want you, and that's why they keep building more and more apartments to keep everybody going. You're
Yeah,
paying
they
for
just
something that you'll never own.
chop down a bunch of trees near me to build more uh, apartment complexes, and I'm like, there are so many empty houses all over Toledo.
Mhm.
Knock them down and build something nice.
Yeah.
Oh, but those are in bad neighborhoods. Well, maybe it's bad because you don't spend the money to build it up.
I guess there's a project I think they're doing allegedly. What I read on it is it's like an old mall that they're gonna fix up. It's gonna still be a shopping center, but they're also going to do living in it as well.
Hmm.
Like some kind of like condos or apartments or something like that. So it'll be like a little community where you don't even have to leave if you don't want to. If the right stores are in there, you put a grocery store in there and all that. Yeah.
It's like the villages.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
international listeners, that is a retirement place that is wild. They do drugs and swing, and it's a wild
Yeah.
time. It's in
It's
Florida.
it's in Florida. But yeah, it's funny because I've actually had conversations with people about the villages before about it. And it's like, they are always all these older people are getting like STDs and stuff like that constantly. But they don't care because they're so old. They just like, oh,
Yeah, they
oh
got one
well.
foot in the grave already.
They just don't care. I'm like, okay, cool.
One project somewhat nearby, is they knocked down an old food town to build a brand new library, which I'm excited for because I'm like, yes,
Mm,
more of that, please.
yeah.
So,
It's cool when they're actually making more libraries and not just tearing them down.
mhm.
Um, but people do need free internet. uh,
It's
so where
so
are we
Eddie,
at here?
like maybe we can is that the asking price? Maybe we can haggle with them. And Marilyn's like, maybe, but they ask the same amount every month.
Yeah,
And then she starts freaking out over the other bills that she apparently didn't pay any of them.
yeah.
They are
And then
so
she's
screwed.
just like, well, what about a loan shark? We could get a loan. Yeah.
No, that's after.
Oh,
That's
that's after.
first we
Okay,
cut to the lab.
we go to Grandpa, and Grandpa's there with Leonard. He's flossing his teeth because Leonard's got food stuck in his teeth from like a century ago.
Yeah, yeah. And once he's done, he grabs his cape and starts to head out for an appointment as the
Yeah,
kids come down. And he's like, "Hey, what do you want? I got to go to the dentist. I need to get my fangs sharpened."
yeah. They're sucking
Which
up to him real good too.
which how often do vampires have to do this? Because your teeth don't grow back. So eventually you're going to sharpen them down to nubs.
You'll know about vampires. Maybe they get new ones, new fangs.
Oh, that'd be a perk. That'd be a vampire just to regrow teeth. I see what my grandpa looks like. I know my future.
But you gotta think if they have super healing and stuff like that, if they heal faster or whatever,
So like a shark. I just
and they're alive a lot longer of a period of time, they have to have.
no. Hold up. He's going to the dentist, right?
Mhm.
Last week we saw his future where he's getting dentures.
Mhm.
Do you think he's going because Eddie freaked him out about losing his teeth?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or it's
So
just a little hidden message in the show about going to a dentist and flossing because you have Leonard thing. And they're like, hey kids, remember these things? Do them. Because even
definitely
vampires do them too.
definitely go to the dentist though. There's like nerve endings that connect directly to your teeth, and if you don't take care of them, they will make your whole entire body feel like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just a nice little touch, but also we have confirmation they're not like sharks. They don't regrow them. He has to get dentures.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So he cheaped out at his beating one that I have to assume is an unlicensed because he's practicing out of his mother's house. And it does become official when Grandpa confirms he lost his office after accidentally, quotation marks, removing a patient's tongue. And oh yeah, that dude does not have a license.
Yeah, no. And yeah, so this is when the kids are like, can we borrow a small amount of money? Yeah, sure. How much do you need? $368.50 a
Which
month.
comes out to roughly $870 for all of their bills. Good God, do I wish.
God, right? Grandpa's like, if I had that kind of money, I'd have a coffin air conditioner. Or
Yeah.
I'd have my coffin air conditioned.
And he's like, but we need it for the bills. And he kind of just laughs in their faces and says, like, you thought life would be easy on this side, didn't you? And then in a more serious tone, which is very sweet, I might add, because it's
Yeah.
showing, he does care. It's like, if I had the money, I would give it to you. But if I had the money, I also wouldn't be going to a dentist who calls his hygienist mommy and then leaves. And that's when they begin freaking out again and is like, well, who can we borrow from next?
Yeah. I thought totally we're going to go look at Leonard.
Leonard ain't got no money. Where's he going to keep it?
You don't know what he's got in the bank. He did some good investing.
That's fair. I was thinking pockets, but banks makes sense.
He invested in bone therapy or something.
Yeah. That's when she brings up the loan shark, and Eddie's like, "What? No. Yeah, if they don't shoot us, they'll just break our legs."
Yeah.
Or no, not shoot us. What is it? Cement shoes.
Yeah, cement shoes.
Which I'm like, okay, I like this little message here. Don't take money from people who will harm you.
Don't borrow money you don't have.
Yeah.
Which then means you don't need to borrow money anyway.
Which is basically a credit card.
Don't borrow money.
Yeah.
Unless you have money. To be honest, like borrowing money, like loans and stuff like that, those should only be. It sounds really messed up, but really, if you don't have money, you shouldn't borrow money. Does that make sense? Like business people, like take for instance, like an Elon Musk. I don't care what people think about him or anything right now, but like he borrows money. Even though he has money or assets and stuff, but he borrows money to do other things because, yeah, you could use your own money, but then you're using your money and taking the risk with your own financial stuff when you could potentially use other people's money. Yeah, give them a little bit of cut of the profit at the back end, but that way you're not out that money right away. And I think that's why, to me, how I feel about it nowadays is, maybe don't borrow money unless you have money. Because like even us, like we use credit cards, but we make sure we pay it off every month. But instead of using like the cash that we have and stuff like that, we'll use the credit cards mainly to get the points and the extra cash and all that stuff. What's that?
Oh, no, I was just thinking, oh yeah, I wish I had the money to pay off my credit card right now.
Well, see, we also don't use our credit card for stuff that's not like, if we can't pay for it, we're not gonna buy it. You know what I mean? Like
I was
gas.
also laid off for 5 months.
Yeah. But like we use it for like gas or like the electric bill, things like that we're gonna have to pay anyways. But this way we just get points.
And it's a great way to get your credit score up, which is a
exactly
freaking scam this country developed.
Yeah.
But
you have to have credit to get credit, to use credit, to do credit. Like,
my wife can't get a credit card. She's in her 30s and can't get a credit card because she has zero credit. Because she got a full ride to university, so she didn't have school loans like I did.
Yeah.
She's never had to, she's basically used my card for everything. So we tried to get one, and everyone denies her because she's got zero credit.
You take your credit. You have a credit card, right?
Yes, they
This is the-
finally put her name on it.
Okay, so doing that should automatically boost her credit score then.
Like, this was literally in the last 3 months they just did
Yeah.
it finally, and we've had this card for 10 years.
That's
or
a
9
nice
years.
little trick for people to know too. If you have a credit card and you have a good credit score and stuff, if you put like your spouse on it that doesn't have credit, it'll automatically boost their credit score. Because mine went up when I got married, because I never had a credit card until I got married. But my wife had like house and stuff like that previously, so she had a credit built up, and then when she added me to her credit card as like just like a cosigner or whatever, it boosted my score. But you can also do this for your children if you want to help your kids out a little better too. Even though it's all like a big scam thing, it shouldn't be a thing, but it is. So you might as well take advantage of all these potential things especially for your kids. Never give them the cards. But but yeah, just have them as a cosign on it, and then their credit score instantly it will jump up.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting. Anyways, let's dive back on into this one here.
All right, so Marilyn's like, well, maybe we should just switch back, and Eddie's like, no, I'm having far too much fun. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go find Pop. It's time for his next grounding. She's like, what for? Do I need a reason?
Oh, well, before this, he's like, they said, whoever thought being a parent would be such a hassle? Yeah, who thought after you went to your room, they still had to pay for it?
Yeah, being an adult is a constant state of stress, unless you turn your brain off.
Yeah.
That makes life so much easier.
But yeah, and then Eddie was like, did Joan Crawford ever need a reason?
Which I tried to look this up, and I don't get, like, I saw that she had 8 adopted kids, but I didn't see anything about her being like a very strict person anywhere I looked.
It would be,
other than she was like a really bad person to one of the kids she tried to adopt, and they had a kid that needed like help, and he's like, can you please help us out with these medical bills? And she's like, you're not my son, and that's not my granddaughter.
she was in Mommy Dearest.
Oh, so it's a reference to her film, not her
That's
person.
what yeah.
That was a screwed up thing though that she did.
What, in the film or in the real life?
In real life, the thing I said.
In that film is pretty messed up too. That was actually pretty, for the 80s. I think that was pretty cool. Oh, not cool, but of a story, an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, it was very, very fascinating. I remember it well.
I hate you, Tivis.
In the kitchen, Lily is working on her homework. Herman comes in saying his day at school was horrible. Lily says, well, did you spend 4 hours in detention just because your math teacher couldn't handle a joke? And he's like, well, you didn't get suspended on. She's like, on your first day?
And she was like turned on by this or something. Like the bad boy thing was like, oh, you got suspended on your first day?
For what? Like, well, I was writing myself a doctor's note and they caught me forging my own signature. Yeah. It's the most confusing sentence, but also I did this to get out of detentions. I forged my mom's signature.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I learned how to do it very well.
Yeah.
Because whenever you didn't turn in homework, I was notoriously bad with homework. I didn't care at all. So they'd send you home a note to have your parents sign.
Right.
Or else you had to do a detention. So I just...
They didn't have a DocuSign thing back then? You just click a button? You just go?
No, because then I went straight to her email and I wouldn't have had a chance.
Oh, it's funny. I haven't had to deal with any of that stuff. So
this was in 7th grade. So junior high
Mm.
or middle
So,
school in some places.
anyways, Marilyn asked Lily how far they've gone. What'd you
Yeah,
say? I lied. I didn't want to give myself a bad reputation at school.
Lily, there is physical evidence.
I don't know. Based on later, I don't even know anymore.
I feel like Herman's just an idiot. Also, wasn't there like a plant involved? Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, that was a weird
The
story.
plant just said if she was pregnant or not. That's all the plant
Yeah,
said.
that's right. Yeah, that was when
Yeah.
Spot was what happened to Spot's babies? What happened to Spot?
We don't talk about things.
All right.
I
So
don't know.
yeah, Herman's like, Lily's like, do you think we should swap back? And Herman's like, nah, they're gonna crumble soon. She's like, but what if they don't? We'll just put ourselves up for adoption. Lily seems so dumbfounded by this response. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? What? This is our house. What?
And then we go back into the dining room, I guess.
Which this scene made me furious. I get that they swapped roles, but why is literally everyone except for Eddie in a seat that doesn't make sense? Eddie's in Herman's seat. Herman's in Lily's seat. Lily's in Marilyn's seat. Lily's in Eddie's seat. Grandpa's in Marilyn's seat, and Marilyn's in Grandpa's seat. I don't understand. You've had it the same this entire series. If you wanted to swap, just swap Herman and Lily. Why is everyone out of order?
Because the whole house is in chaos.
I don't care. It doesn't make
It's
sense.
it's a signal. It's a signal that the whole house is in chaos. As we find out here in a few minutes.
It's total chaos and no one is happy.
Yeah.
Grandpa tries to lighten the mood and everyone gets mad, or no, he gets mad when no one laughs at his joke because they're still just ignoring him.
This is like the cat doesn't have your tongue, right? And he lifts up the dish like I'm like, is there an actual dead cat in that pan?
I doubt it.
because knowing this family, it could be a dead cat in that pan that they're eating for dinner.
Oh, okay. I think you meant literally.
No, not literally.
Yeah, I mean, it just reminds me of the Addams family scene where they're in the motel.
Yeah.
And she's just the grandma's kidnapping pets.
Marilyn was walking around the table putting a bun on each person's plate, and they all look so depressed. And I was like, at first I was like, is this all we're getting to eat? It's like a little bun.
So Eddie's like, I'm just tired. And Herman jumps on that. He's like, tired of being an adult? No. Everything's fine. Couldn't be better, Eddie and Marilyn say in unison. And Grandpa's like, right. And how about the adults? You like being kids still? And they say the exact same response. So Grandpa says it again. Right. I call bull. Lily's like, what do you mean? You're all playing your silly little game. But I'm the one being left behind here. Did anyone pick up my cape from the cleaners? No one? Anyone?
Yeah. It's like, while you guys are playing your switching places game, you're forgetting about one thing. Me.
So I have my 300th high school reunion coming up. I need to look good. And he's like, we told you guys to get it. And he's like, when? And Marilyn's like, when you were cleaning the boat. I didn't hear you. You never hear us. So Grandpa continues. He's like, Oh yeah, what about my air freshener for my coffin? Anyone get that? No one put it on the shopping list. And Lily's like, you're the adult. You're in charge of the list. Which it doesn't matter if you're an adult. We get stuff that's not put on the list all the time, and we're like, dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is total chaos erupting here as Marilyn drops the bombshell of
Pass the mortgage.
Did you say mortgage?
Yes.
Ketchup.
No, I said ketchup. Pass the ketchup.
I'm like, why didn't you say something M like mayo or something? But Grandpa's like, no, you said mayo. She said mayo. I heard it. Or not mayo.
No
mortgage.
What?
Now I got myself screwed up.
Yeah. You said mortgage. You said mortgage. Yeah. Grandpa does not play around here. He's like,
No,
how did that go anyways? Did you guys
over
find
this.
anyone to loan you money to pay the mortgage? Wait, what?
Well, he's like, did you find people to borrow money from? And like, borrow money? What for?
Yeah, you guys said you came downstairs, you were asking for money, blah, blah, blah.
So Herman's like, so wait, you haven't paid it? And Eddie counters with another way to say it. They're experiencing some red ink in their fiduciary balance sheets, which I feel like is a line we've heard in the show before. And I watched this with my wife, who is an accountant, and she's like, that is an outdated thing that no one uses anymore. Excuse me. Herman says, he's like, I will balance your sheets. now we're getting thrown out of this house.
All because of you.
Grandpa makes it more about him by saying he becomes one of the scariest statistics in America, a homeless vampire. Grandpa was great in this episode. So,
what you looking for?
I lost my plates on my notes. Oh, Eddie's like, it's your fault for putting children in charge of finances. And Herman's like, you blew the money on ding-dongs.
You ding-dong?
Marilyn counters with how they couldn't wait to get in a 3-hour lip-locking session at the drive-in. And hearing the drive-in made me so excited because I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see if they pair Fantastic Four with Superman in July. This is what a summer to be a nerd, dude. I'm so happy.
I doubt they're gonna do that because, like, then they won't make as much money. You do one on each one, then you have to watch two. You have to pay for two different ones.
I feel like they'll do it at least for a weekend.
People who don't know what we're talking about, like the drive-in, certain drive-ins, anyways, would do two movies back to back. You pay to go in, and you get to watch both movies for that fee.
Yeah, and the local one that we all love, the Sundance Drive-In, has been around for like 70 years, and they do this, and it's fantastic. They got new owners, and they're wonderful people. Go support them if you're in the area, or if you're not, want to just go to a drive-in, drive to Ohio just to see that.
Yeah, you're lucky that they got bought by that and not some developer that's going to tear everything down and put apartments or houses.
That's what they almost happened. Yeah.
Okay.
God, I love our drive-in. So Grandpa steps in now and says, who cares whose fault it is? The fact is, we are in the final Jeopardy, and the category is Munster evictions.
What did you just say?
Munster evictions?
No, before that.
Oh, Final Jeopardy?
After that.
The category?
There we go. You did not say category. You said category. You like you had a stroke. I was like, what? What did you say?
I was putting a voice on, so it probably came out weird. I do that a lot. She gets some. She's like, what? What'd you say? You heard me. She's like, no, I couldn't understand you. You were being stupid. I love
All
my
right.
wife. So Marilyn's like, Eddie, we need to admit we goofed. And I'm like, you more than goofed, kid. You royally effed up.
Yeah.
Eddie has no idea, had no idea parents had to pay for everything. And
Yeah.
Herman never realized being a kid meant you gave up your constitutional rights, which, to be fair, you only get majority of those when you turn 18, and even then, only a little more when you turn 21. So that's
You
part of
don't
the
even
conversation.
have like all your rights until you're like at least 25. You're not really a full-fledged adult in America until you're like 25 because you can't rent a car or a hotel room until you're like 25.
I used to rent hotel rooms when I was just 20.
You blocked out. I didn't hear you.
I used to rent hotel rooms when I was just 20.
There was maybe it was a few years back in the day that you couldn't do 25. But I know for a car, you have to be like 20. 21 in Florida here now. So
Ah,
maybe they're changing stuff, but it does say a youthful surcharge may be applied to your rental for cars
ooh.
in America and Canada if you're between the ages of 21 and 24.
Yeah. See, the first time I rented a car was in 2019 when I drove to DC. So I was well over that age.
Ah,
So I know nothing
let's
about
see
that.
here.
But
How old to rent a hotel room? 18 years old. Okay. Uh Oh, so some areas restrict it, and areas known for more nightlife stuff require guests to be 20
oh,
or
so like
older.
Vegas.
But typically the age is now 18. You are right. I just remember being 18 and 19 back in the day, and we could not rent a hotel room. Me and my girlfriend went for a vacation, and we couldn't get a room. We had to have her mom rent it for us.
That's awkward.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't care. We're all adults. Anyways,
That's still nothing I want to think about. Uh,
we're in a whole
not you
nother state. We
specifically,
need a hotel
like
room.
family and stuff. Not you
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah,
I have an idea.
Grandpa's.
Grandpa stands up and it's like, I got an idea. How about you go back to being the parents and you go back to being the kids and everyone goes back to servicing me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he said servicing, and now that I just said it, that comes off a little wrong,
He
but
said taking
still
care of me. But
taken care of. Yes.
Herman's like, fine, but only if the junk food comes out of your allowance. And the kids look at each other, agreed. And the mortgage is your problem now as they run away.
Yeah. And Herman's like, what about the mortgage? She's like, what about the mortgage? That's your problem.
Which then we get our credits rolling, and finally,
Yep.
the last scene
Of the day. Eddie comes into the kitchen at nighttime trying to pour a glass of milk, I guess it's supposed to be.
probably bat milk.
Yeah. Bat's milk. Bat milk yogurt. Bat yogurt. Bat, yeah. Anyways, Eddie learned about how babies are made today at school.
Mhm.
Well, did they explain to you it had to be in the summertime? Wait, what? Why the summertime? No, it's easier to dig up all the parts.
Yeah, they're thawed.
Yeah, it's all thawed. It's easier to dig up the hands, the legs, the feet, the brain.
Hey, you could sew them all together, put some electricity in there, and
And
boom,
and
baby.
Eddie is dumbfounded by this. Like he's just like incomplete. And other like, wait, what? What?
Oh, I forgot
What?
to mention this earlier on too.
Go ahead.
Let's finish this scene and then I'll bring it up.
Okay. And then Eddie's like, well, Pop, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna go with the teacher's way. It sounds a lot more fun.
Which I watched this with my wife, and she's like, gross. And I'm like, yeah, he's a pervert. So earlier in the episode, I forget how it came up. Grandpa asked Herman, he's like, didn't you explain to him how kids are born? And I didn't expect it to come back up.
Yeah.
Uh,
To be fair to the show, I mean, nowadays we see a lot. There's a lot of shows about high schoolers and sex and stuff like that. Thanks 16 and pregnant or whatever it was.
That's the one that started it. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm talking not just reality shows. I'm talking like in most media now. There's a lot of like teen pregnancy stuff in those things. So to watch this and Marilyn not being pregnant and they're just making sexual references and it's usually the teen boy, which to be fair, that's when a lot of that stuff starts coming up because you don't know what his friends are saying to him at school and stuff like that. So, and it's like the hormones are changing and all that. So it kind of makes sense at this point in time for Eddie to be like that because now he's supposed to be 15, 16 here. I think last time they said his age was like 15, but
Yeah,
you
he's
gotta think like 15, 16 ish
roughly
age.
staying 15 in several stories now.
So, like, I don't find it to be like all that shocking, especially because this came out around the same time as Married with Children was running.
Yeah.
And granted, Married with Children was all about Al Bundy not wanting to have sex with his wife.
And just being an all around garbage person while everyone in that household hates each other.
Yeah. They all loved each other in their own way. They didn't hate each other. They showed love in a different way, Tivis. Stop attacking my childhood. Because that's how my family was.
Yeah, there's a reason your wife has been talking to you about that stuff.
Look, when you take Married with Children and Roseanne and mash them together,
Roseanne is much better than Married with Children.
those are my
They actually showed
together.
they cared.
They too showed like there's scenes in Married with Children where there's caring and stuff. It's more of like a comedic way. Like King of Queens is the same thing. There's not really a whole lot of deep connection in that sitcom, and that's not even as raunchy and stuff as Married with Children. But there's still not like episodes where it's like super like caring and stuff like Roseanne. Roseanne definitely is like I felt when I watched Roseanne that was like one of the best uh showings of like average American family kind of thing. Middle class ish. Because I think nowadays that lifestyle would technically be considered like lower class.
Yeah.
In today's standards. But yeah. Because I can guarantee you my family wasn't middle class. Growing up, we were not even close. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the episode ends on that note of after Eddie says that, Herman looks off into the camera and now he's confused.
Fun.
So yeah.
But
yeah, they forget that like they did the whole flower thing and they know Herman knows where babies come from.
I don't know if he does though.
Didn't he help?
He's kind of stupid.
Didn't he help Spot give birth?
Yeah, but Spot's not a humanoid.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
I thought the title was actually pretty perfect after watching this because it's literally like being a parent with all the responsibility and stuff, and then being a child not realizing how good you actually have. Let's be real.
And it's kind of cool because it is parenthood versus childhood and not adult versus child.
Yes.
Because there is a difference.
Which it was a little of that, but yeah, parenthood definitely comes with more responsibility, which and it really did a good job of the duality with the responsibility as a child, you know, the homework, being home, getting enough sleep, going to school, you know, having to do the chores. It's It's like that stuff sucks, but you also have a ton of freedom. Whereas Parenthood, you probably I'm speaking more on the adult side of things.
Right.
You got, the bills and having to make sure that these things don't die under your watch and, taking care of a house and things like that. But you also get a lot more freedoms that you didn't have as a kid. So it's like a trade off between the two.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
So, it's a very nice. And by the way, for those audio listeners, I'm sorry. Once again, a visual reference here. The thing Myke made, it is a really cool thing of the peasants versus the royal Munsters, and it's really cool to look at.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see this now in an episode. These two duking it. But yeah, the episode I thought was really solid. The lesson I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
I like, they're always the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. I'm glad they went with this and not just turn the parents into children and make the kids watch over them like I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Grandpa was very well used. Like, he was minimal. I think we saw less of Grandpa in this than majority of episodes we've watched, other than the one where he just wasn't there because of the concussion. And he was used very poignantly in every scene he was in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I loved Lily, the whole bringing out the teenager in her again. Seeing Marilyn kind of taking a more mature role with the response, even with forgetting the bills and stuff. Like, she was more put together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie was still just a little, word I won't use. Beep. We need to censor. But yeah, I thought the whole cast did a really great job. I stand by what I said, and I think this was a really fun one. Not just because of the fantasies they did where they got to dress up and stuff, but also their characters kind of changing a little bit of their personalities, still remaining true to who they were, but just a ever so change. Not so much for Herman, because he's always a child.
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This was a really cool. This one and last week's with the weird time warp dimension fourth wall break has been a really great pairing. And I'm kind of curious, like, are they all going to be this interesting going forward? Because as you said last time, they might know that it's coming to an end, so they're just throwing anything and everything at the wall that they want to do and having fun with it.
Maybe.
Because I'm down for that. Because I mean, like we were saying with the original show, when it was coming to an end, we got the Vergosi Emerald, we got the sorority episode. Both of those were so good.
Yeah.
Because they did things that we didn't see in the rest of the show.
Well, what, we got like 6 episodes left of this season?
Yes, I think.
Yeah. This was episode 18.
Yep.
And there's 24, right?
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
And now that we're this far into it, it's no wonder that this won awards for makeup and visual stuff, because like they do some really interesting stuff with this show.
Yeah. I agree, man. Yeah, I enjoyed the episode. It was fun. Again, like you said, this week and last week, it's kind of interesting because you got like the medieval kind of dress here, and last week we had like the Jetsons dress stuff, our last episode, and yeah, so it was kind of cool. I did like the story, of course. Being a parent too, like you see a lot of the crap. Yeah, I feel like I could do what my kids do, to be honest, though. Like, it would be no problem for me. I don't see why.
Well, as you said, we have done it. Yeah. I mean, it'd be a bit different because it's a different time, to be with all the
just
new
wouldn't
changes and things.
I just wouldn't be able to say certain words in school that I grew
I
up
mean, you
saying in
shouldn't use those
school.
certain words in
Listen
general.
here, Tivis. um Actually, no, I take that back because I know the kids in their school say the same stuff still. Um
They just say dumber things like
yeah,
Riz and Skibbity.
I think that's a generation below the high schoolers.
I
I
don't care. Whoever
don't
says these words. And don't refer to friggin' chicken nuggets or chicken tenders as tendies or
Nuggies.
nugs. I
Nugs.
hate you.
Thanks, Dom.
I feel Grogu's the one who started that.
I don't.
That's the first time I remember seeing it widespread. Is give me my chicken tendies with Grogu. I'm like, God, you choked the child. Choke
Force
that
choke him.
50-year-old child.
Force choke him. Put him in the toilet.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked the episode. I liked the storyline. Them showing the what?
Them douche.
Showing them showing like the different tactics, I guess, or lifestyle for the adults, the parents versus the children and stuff like that. Although I'm not sure why the children aren't helping cleaning the kitchen too. If they eat in the kitchen and they mess up the kitchen, they should be cleaning the kitchen too. Maybe that's something that the Munsters should fix. Like, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff I could go off of, but I just won't. But it was still a fun episode. It was nice to see them swap roles, like literally just swap roles and not like actually physically like change into something
Age
different
and stuff.
yeah
I feel like this is a very timeless one because no matter how much like technology and stuff changes and adds to each,
mm-hmm.
generation, the same stresses of school, homework, chores versus job, don't lose house, don't let children die will remain the same.
I've seen this story before where it's like the adults switch places with the children to be like to try and prove a point. I've seen this story before, but I don't know if this is the first time we ever had that kind of story with this episode here or if it was done beforehand. Yeah, I'm not sure. But there weren't a whole lot of shows with kids as kind of a center point until about late 80s or so. So
Yeah, that's true. Was it Full House? I think was one of the first one I remember with
yeah,
actually.
what was it? Growing Pains or Family Matters?
Yeah. And I know Married with Children came up before that, but I feel like once Full House started, that's when it really boomed. The whole family sitcom and not just,
Yeah.
sitcom about two dudes working at a newspaper company. Perfect Strangers is so good. Go watch it.
There was one. This is what came up when I just typed in first show with kids. It was For the Children, which premiered June 9th, 1946 on BBC.
Okay.
But that's the BBC.
Yeah.
But like as far as like seeing in the States a sitcom show with kids and stuff like that, I'm trying to think of a first one because like before, I guess the original Munsters with Eddie, but they
but
weren't
even
really
then it
staples.
was still
Limited.
Yeah, it wasn't really that widespread is what I'm thinking.
Maybe Little House on the Prairie.
Again, though, it wasn't like I'm trying to think of when the boom was where that really took off.
I would say the late 80s.
Yeah. Definitely Full House was
because then you had like Saved by the Bell and all that stuff too. Yeah. Because what was the one though with
Leave It to
crap.
Beaver was a show about a kid.
Dennis
That was
the Menace.
same creator as the Munsters. Not
The
Dennis
kid-
the Menace. Leave It to Beaver.
Leave It to Beaver, yeah. Yeah, I guess there was a couple shows, but those were centered around the kids. This is like an ensemble cast with the kids, I
Yeah.
think.
And even in the Munsters, we focused more on the parents. The kids were just there.
Right.
Kid. Marilyn was an adult in that show.
Yeah. An adultish. She was still in college. Who knows what age she was?
I mean, if you're in college, you're an adult.
Are you though? How old was Ziggy Hauser?
Well, all right. And young Sheldon.
Yeah. See. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got for this episode, guys. Like, I hope people enjoyed watching this episode, specifically, just because
I know I did.
It was a fun one. I like the costume changes. I like the different personality changes between the king and the queen, a dynamic for both of them, and the peasants for both of them. And then not only that, but also seeing how Marilyn and Eddie would react given that power, and then how Lily and Herman reacts, not having to worry about certain things. So, and with Herman getting suspended, he doesn't have to worry about nothing. Like,
does that mean Eddie? Does that mean Eddie is suspended?
Who took Herman's job though, and actually was making money? Because Eddie didn't look like he was dressed for Herman's job.
So how long was this episode over? Like, how did they get that money so quick?
No, that money was left. That money was left to them.
Oh, so that's still them trying to do the bills.
Yes, that was just trying to get them to figure it out. So all the money that they had in this whole episode to spend was money that Lily set aside. She's like, I set money aside for all the bills for you guys. Like, so they didn't even have to go out and make the money for the first set of bills. So this all took place within like a matter of days or a week or so. Yeah. Anyways. All right. What are we talking about next week, dude?
Next week we are talking about,
or next time, because remember, guys, we are still doing bi-weekly.
Oh yeah. Das Trunk.
I don't know what Das means.
It's German.
Well, I know that. I don't know what it means.
Well, it's privileged equivalent to the basically. English is the only language that has the as a word.
Das is the, yeah.
Yeah.
Or da. Da is one's father. So maybe it has to do with the trunk. Somebody's the trunk. So
and it's German, so it's
trunk.
European. I think we might get a family member.
You think so?
Yeah, I think someone might be coming to visit, which would be cool because it's been a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Because why else would you use that specific
aunt, uncle, or father, mother?
I'm gonna go cousin.
I'm gonna say, have we had an aunt show up lately? Have we
had
an aunt?
But I want Grandpa's sisters to show up.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen.
If it's family, I'm gonna say an aunt. Just because I don't know why.
We could use more of Lily's family. So far we've only got her mom.
But do they come in a trunk? Or what's with the trunk? Is it a real trunk?
Ooh. What if it's a recycling of the Gilbert episode where it's a trunk full of money and they have to watch it and not spend it and they're all tempted?
Yeah. Or you could take trunk as a person or animal's body part from the limbs and head. Works with the Munsters still. All right.
Yeah, it does.
Anyways, any final words today, dude?
No, I'm having a lot of fun with this the tail end of this season.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. All right. Well, guys, with that all said, we will catch y'all next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.